fine, but it's just
Okay.
inactive.
I wanna make sure.
Both hands go. Josh?
Coach, now that you've been able to review the film from J.I.'s return, what really stood out about his performance in that game?
You know, I think just the way he allowed the game to come to him. Then obviously the defensive side of the floor where he turns it up a different level. I think his ability to switch pick and rolls, be at the rim for protection, those sides of the game, that side of the game was really good for him.
You guys have been exceptionally good in the fourth quarter, particularly offensively, for really the majority of the season, certainly the last month and a half. What is it about your team's play in the fourth quarter that kind of elevates their performance?
Well, you mentioned the offensive side of the ball, but I really think what it is that we're allowing our defense to spark that offense. So coming down the stretch, getting stops, being able to get out on the break and get easy baskets. I think we talked to our guys about that a ton. Getting stops down the stretch, getting 3 stops in a row in order to get out on the break.
Jalen's been back now for about 9 games, kind of still getting back into the swing of things, at least offensively. What have you seen from him, or what are you telling him to kind of focus on as he kind of gets himself back into the swing of things here?
Just that, find the rhythm with the team. Not necessarily have to come out to chase anything, but just let the game come to him. And I think that's why you're seeing such a level of intensity on the defensive side of the floor, because that's where his focus is. And again, to Josh's point, that getting back to that defensive side of the ball so you can allow the offense to flow without having to try to find baskets.
Coach Melissa Thomas with Florida National News. With J.I. back, how has it been with the team in terms of, has it elevated the team's energy in terms of coming out on the court and kind of bringing that performance?
Well, you saw the energy the other night, with the ovation for him coming back, the guys rallying behind him, understanding, what he had been through and what he's done. I think it was really good for our group to have that level of energy and intensity, but understanding also what he's capable of doing when he's on the floor.
Kind of sticking with J.I. physically, just how did he feel coming out of that game after being solid for so long?
He felt good coming out. I think that's the one thing that he talked about it after the game a little bit. Obviously, there's a little soreness that's going to be the case, but he definitely was able to bounce back after the game.
In terms of playing time restrictions, do you think they'll line up with how they were last game? Any changes to bump up?
No, everything's staying the same.
We saw Caleb came back to the team after a stint with Lakeland. I think we talked after his first game with them. Just what have you seen from him in terms of sticking with, adjusting to the game plan that you guys set forth for him since then?
He's growing, and you talk about for our young guys just to be able to see the growth and what our coaches have done. Brett and Dylan and all of our coaches that work with Caleb have done a fantastic job of helping him get prepared. And that's the great part about the G League and working with Lakeland and us being on the same page. He's learned how to put the ball on the floor more than he did. We want him to, when he's open, shoot the basketball, and you saw that the other night. But his ability to do that with confidence because of the work he's put in and the work that the coaches have put in with him.
And then with the Pacers here tonight, have a talented rookie in Ben Mathurin. Just what have you seen from him and what sticks out about his game as you watch film of him?
He's very aggressive in the way he attacks the basket, yet he's confident enough in stepping into his 3. He doesn't play like a normal rookie, but with his level of confidence in how he's doing each part of the game. Obviously defensively he sits down and guards, but more importantly, he attacks that basket, with a tenacity not most young guys have.
After the last game, you mentioned that it's going to take time. When you back, it just takes time to reintegrate guys. But as a coach, how much are you embracing those challenges of putting these pieces together, if the puzzle you want to say that, compared to what you dealt with early in the season?
No, it's people say it's a good problem to have. Obviously when you have healthy bodies, there's a lot more conversations that need to be had with each guy individually to let them know, where they sit in different roles. But understanding that these guys, it's going to continue to take time, like you said. Being able to find a chemistry on the court, being able to find out times in different rotations, that's going to take some time. And these guys are, they're willing and they understand exactly that type of process. But as we move forward, it'll kind of solidify itself a little more.
And with Cole Anthony specifically, how much do you see or feel him trying to find his footing within the changing lineups, rotations, or even, his role compared to last season?
Well, the great part about Cole is he's embracing every time he steps on the floor, whatever we're asking him to do. And we've talked about him being a tenacious defender, getting into the basketball, offensively picking and choosing spots when he's attacking versus when he's distributing, And he's done a great job of being able to do that, knowing, that's what keeps him on the floor. And he's done a great job with that level of poise and understanding, as you saw last game, his ability to attack as well as distribute.
And talking with him after the game, he mentions, sometimes when the scoring struggles have been there, offensive struggles, and maybe sometimes because he's not being as aggressive or assertive. What do you tell him specifically when you see he's not maybe playing his style of game?
Well, for our style, I think it's important that, you understand when it's time to make the right decision, when it's time to make the right pass, when it's time to attack the basket. And again, we give these guys the freedom to play off of one another. And so the decision-making process with a young group that we continue to talk about, being able to meet great decision makers. When somebody's open, you find them. If you're not open, you move it. Those simple plays, quick decision makers, and then defensively getting after the ball.
Everyone good? All right, thank you.
Thank you, guys.